So, thought I'd tell you about my first concert experiences. Um, because I don't really count the first one as a concert experience. It was like it was like some weird, like, open air festival thing. And then I had a really cool, actual, like, concert thing in like this big concrete building and stuff. It was really cool. Metal songs. So first of all, my first ever one, it seems pretty lame to say that when I was 21, I was terrified of social stuff, but I was. That was nearly a decade ago at this point. So, you know, but so we go in, and there's some person with me from work that's also like my age, and I was uh, my cousin and his now wife. I don't know if they were married at the time. Drove all of us, but for some reason I don't know why all of us that got like alcohol wristbands got to go in like first, like an hour early. It was super awkward because, like, okay, I'm this autistic weirdo, and I'm here with like some random, like, a girl from work, that I didn't really know, but she was very nice about it and all that. But we went in, it was mostly like punk bands. It's like whatever iteration of Black Flag it was. It was like Sum 41. It was like and the headliner was Offspring, which I was really excited for. And um I don't remember, there were like six bands, and I don't remember most of them because I was so freaking nervous. And it's like I was just like downing the drinks, and all that. The margaritas tasted like literal grass. I don't know if that's how they're supposed to taste. I don't think that's how they're supposed to taste when I've had them outside of this festival. So, but then there were like special IPAs that you could try. I was drinking. I got one with her, the girl from work and all that. It's my age, and she's like, "You know what this tastes like?" Well, I don't know. It tastes alright. This tastes like cum. I'm like, what? I'm like, I fucking paid $8. I don't want a fucking cum beer. It's fucked up, dude. And I had to just like choke it down. It's like after she said that, it's like I had to just like choke it down. It's disgusting, but I paid $8 for it. I don't know what that tastes like. I hope that's not what that tastes like. um, yeah, Black Flag was okay, although they had to introduce all their members because there's like two Black Flags and they all have different members. One of them changes members all the time. I don't know which one it was, to be honest, at the time. This was before COVID, so take that for what you will. But they sounded good live. And then finally, um, our my cousins that drove us there were able to get through because they were slightly under 21 at the time, so they couldn't drink. Right? So weird. Why would they let? I don't know. I guess so they could. They let the people that are over 21 in earlier to buy more drinks or something. I don't know. It was really weird. But but the thing that pissed me off the most is our cousins, my cousins forced us to leave halfway through the Offspring set, and I found out why later, because they kept saying we don't want to get in traffic, we don't want to get any problems. Well, it turns out because of the concert before that, the wife got in a screaming match with somebody that cut them off. So, uh, because of that, my male cousin, the husband, decided that we're just not going to do that anymore. We're just going to leave early. Well, what? How do you know that somebody's going to cut you off every time? I'm still pissed about that, and it's been like 7 or 8 years. It's like, so we just have to leave early from the ticket we bought? Whatever. Um, bunch of bullshit. So we left with walked out with the offspring playing as it's staring, the sun staring in your eyes, or whatever that song is. You know that song. But then my real full concert that I count as my first concert, I went with one of my best friends of all time, and I went for At the Gates, and it had the guy Tomas that recently passed away as the lead singer, and still, and he was fantastic and all that. But my friend went for on the Marth, and they were fantastic. That was the concert that had like the big Viking ship props and all that. They were awesome. There was also Arch Enemy. There's one other person. Was it Hammerfell opened? I think, I don't know. I think I ordered the merch line for it, but I count that as my real first concert because that freaking weird festival thing was just such a weird experience. I don't even remember all the songs because I was so nervous. But like, I even had one of my friends hair whipping in my face half the time while I was headbanging. I still had a fantastic experience with the At the Gate concert, At the Gates concert, and a Monomarth concert, Arch Enemy, Hammerfall, whatever the fuck it is. I'm not a big fan of that band, but you know the other bands are awesome. Um, yeah, it really turned me on to concerts. Um, it's really weird. The first one was such a weird experience, man. The first one taught me also to always buy merch first because we went to buy merch walking out, and all I could get was like a plain white t shirt with the Black Flag logo, and Black Flag was one of the openers. Every other shirt design was completely sold out. So ever since then, the first thing I do when I get to the arena or stadium or venue is I get in the merch line. So, you know, pro tip there. But yeah, that's my experience with that shit. Very interesting, you know.